Hey everyone, it's another talking race walking shoe review. So we've done a couple, and we've actually done another. Well, sorry, I didn't want another. So I'm giving away with giving away the shoe that I'm going to review today. It's another Asics running shoe that can be used for race walking, or so I think. So my opinion is slightly biased here because this is a shoe that I have used. It's not a carbon fiber super shoe from Asics. You've seen either the Edge or the Sky carbon fiber shoes from Asics that a lot of the elites are wearing. This is another option in their lineup. There it is. It's the Asics Hyperspeed. So where's the Hyperspeed fit in terms of shoes, and why might it be a good option for race walking? Well, let's go through it. Hyperspeed, 6.8 ounces, 192 grams. It's a really light shoe. Comes in around $100 as opposed to $160 or $200 or $200 plus. So once again, not bad for the pocketbook. What kind of shoe is it? It's basically a racer. Okay, it's not a lightweight trainer. It is a racing shoe. It's a racing shoe for runners that race walkers should be able to use. It's got Flytefoam midsole. It's got a rubber outsole for wear. It's still very light and kind of pocketed spots. I'll show you on the bottom here. But quite a bit different from the other shoes. And I wanted to mention as well that it's got a 7mm drop. 7, it's not 0, it's not 4, it's not 5. But once again, if there's a drop like that, I usually sometimes feel it. But in this one, it looks fairly sort of not 0 drop, but there's not a huge difference. The stack height at the back here at the heel is not huge. It does come down. It's fairly rockered at the front. It doesn't feel like it has a huge drop to me. It almost feels like more like a 5 or something. Like it doesn't feel like there's a big difference from heel to toe. So let's look at the shoe again. So it comes in different colors, but this is one I like. Hyperspeed, side view, front, medial side, top, and the bottom. So there's that carbon rubber outsole. You can see they've really tried to cut down on the weight, and it's a light shoe. Okay, and then it does have a liner, but it's glued in. Okay, so it's like a race shoe. That sock liner, it doesn't pull out, compresses fairly quickly, but you can get it out. I would even suggest putting in another one after a few miles of training if you're using it as a training shoe or as a race shoe. So let's go through aspects of this shoe. So good rocker. It doesn't have that carbon fiber plate. It is quite flexible at the forefoot there. You know, not super. I would say less so than say a Saucony Canvera, but it does flex at the forefoot. There's no shank in there in terms of stiffening it up. It does have good flex. It's got no extra plastic piece in here in the midfoot to really stabilize it, but it doesn't twist like a wet noodle, so not bad that way. The upper, really light, good mesh, breathable. The midsole material, I find the cushion is soft, but not super soft. It's not like that heel at some of the super shoes, especially the Edge or the Sky in the Asics lineup. It's not that soft. It's soft throughout, has the same feel, but it's not really thick, so you're not compressing a lot, but relatively soft compared to some thicker, say, regular running shoe trainers. It's got a very thin tongue on the shoe, so not a lot of extra padding, but I haven't felt any major issues with that. Good amount of lace, but not too much. I can tuck that away amongst the laces when I'm race walking. The one thing I do notice is at the heel. It's got a good heel cup, not super firm, but fine. Decent padding around the ankle and at the Achilles here. Now you can see it does come in a little bit. What I have found in some of the shoes I've worn is if I'm wearing it a lot and that sock liner wears out, I sit a little bit lower. This can actually come up and just hit me in the Achilles just a little bit. It might be different for everybody. I've actually taken an X-Acto blade and just kind of started about here and just kind of taken that right off almost at where the heel cup, that plastic piece underneath, starts. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's worked for me. This one so far, I've taken it for a couple and it hasn't bothered me, but it's a possibility. I do like the shoe. So now getting back to what you might use it for, how it feels, my opinion. Very light shoe. It feels nice to go out and do intervals. I would suggest it as a race shoe as well for most people. And depending on who you are, it could be a training shoe as well, because it's not $160, it's not $200. You could probably replace this one, without as much coming out of your pocketbook as some of the other shoes. I like the feel of it. It feels light, it feels fast, it feels responsive. It doesn't have that sort of stiff feel of a carbon fiber shoe, but I really like it. So that is another option. There are other shoes out there. So in the Asics lineup that I'll go through later, but this is kind of your $100 option, lightweight racing shoe. You've got the Metaspeed and the Sky. And then you've got Asics Magic Speed 3 as well, which many people might not be aware of. So that is also one to check out. It's a kind of a lower priced carbon fiber shoe in the Asics lineup. So I think we're familiar with the Edge and the Sky. If you're not, go check them out. Those are the big ones. That's probably what you see right now in racing with some of the elite race walkers. The Asics Magic Speed 3, 7.6 ounces, so a little bit heavier than this guy, but it's got a carbon fiber shank in it that stiffens it up. It's got the FF Blast midsole that a lot of the super shoes do, the Edge in the Sky. The drop is a little bit more, so 7 millimeters, less. It's on par with basically this one, but less than the super shoes. The super shoes, especially, I think it's let's take a look here. I think it's the Sky or whatever, has like 11 millimeter drops. So those super shoes do tend to have a big beefy midsole, a little bit higher at the heel compared to the toe. So there's more of a drop. The Hyperspeed, the Magic Speed tend to be great options in terms of something a little lower profile, a little less drop. And the other one that I suggest you check out of curiosity, which I have not had a chance to have your hands on, is the Evo Speed 3. It's got a 5 millimeter drop, so even less than these guys with 7, but a little bit heavier, 8.1 ounces, and it has the sort of the FF Blast midsole, but no shank. I think I have to double check that out. So once again, another Asics race walking shoe for you that might be an option. Not a huge drop, really lightweight, good flex, decent rocker at the front, but no carbon fiber shank in this guy. So hope you enjoyed that. I hope it gives you some information. Remember, every shoe will fit you differently. Your foot is different than anyone else's. How you race walk, the pace at what you race walk on, all those things will affect the feel. I forgot to mention as well, this guy fits, I think it fits fine for my foot. I have a regular sized foot, not particularly narrow, not particularly wide. This guy, enough room, but if you've got a wider foot, you'll want to try it on and make sure you've got enough room width-wise, especially when you're out race walking. That foot gets hot and expands. You want the room so you're not chafing on the side and you're not hitting the end of the shoe. But once again, your foot's different than everybody else's. This shoe is a neutral cushion shoe as well. It doesn't provide any extra support. If you wear an orthotic as well, you'd want to slip that in and see how everything fits as well. So hope that provides you some information. If you've got comments or thoughts, please send them. Subscribe and like the video, and send me ideas on shoes you want me to review. I'm hoping to come up with a reshod walking shoe review, and there's a Brooks Hyperion I want to bring out and tell you about as well. And I've got a few others I'm going to reach out and try and track down for you. All right, so happy walking. Take care.